Brother Martin High School and LSU. He's been at Fox 8 for several years now after working previously at HTV in Homa. Serves as a sports anchor and reporter. He's also part of a new prep football show on Fox 8 on Friday nights as well. And I know that's something he's passionate about. He's passionate about the Saints. Here to talk about them today. The Saints, of course, play at Detroit this Sunday at noon. Please give a warm quarterback club welcome to Sean Fazende of Fox 8.
Thank you guys for having me. As he said, before I get into the Saints, us at Fox 8, there was kind of a hole in our football coverage, if you will. It always felt like I was flipping over to your buddy Ed Dames a lot, watching Friday Night Football. But we finally got ourselves back into the prep football business, and it's been great. The response from the community has been great, and it's even better that the Catholic League is doing so well right now. So we are very pleased with the product. Fox 8 Football Friday, every Friday night at 10:30. You know, I don't go to every game, but I try to make one game a week on that Friday in between shows, and there's just a different feel you get when you walk into a high school football game. There's just a purity to it, and innocence to it. It feels like a high school football game, and it's something we're glad to be back in the business of, and curious to see how this thing all shakes out with all the great Catholic schools doing well. Just real quick, one quick thing on LSU. Still think LSU can win 8 games, by the way. I still think get to 8 wins. I know that's a bad sign.
Okay. Something you said.
No, no. 8 wins, right? That's not too bad, right? And I agree with you. The upset game, the Ole Miss game, it's always a crazy game, so just watch that game. But anyway, I do think LSU still has a lot to play for. Here to talk about the Saints, and boy, crazy times in the NFL, huh? Who was pulling for the Cowboys yesterday? That's crazy. They beat Seattle on the road. Cowboys are 5-1. Saints are 2-3. Malcolm Jenkins and Roman Harper both have 3 interceptions. That's unbelievable right now. That's unbelievable. But you know, I know it's kind of a crazy time. I dropped my little girl off on. She goes to this little preschool on the West Bank Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I know it's a bad week when I just get the look from the teacher. Like, one teacher even said, "Sean, maybe you should stop going on road trips. This is not working right now." So yeah, that's what we've gotten the Saints fans right now. That the problem is me going on road trips and covering the Saints. But I've gotten a lot of questions. What's wrong with the Saints? What's wrong with the Saints? Well, I said this was the best roster they ever had going into a season. Didn't quite work out that way, at least not through 5 games. Get a lot of questions about what's going on with defense, what's going on with Drew Brees. There's a school of thought right now that Drew Brees has lost some arm strength. I disagree with that. I don't see an arm strength being a huge issue, because if you really watch Drew over the years, the big power throw really was never his best throw. It was a good throw, but it wasn't his best throw. I think the issue with Drew Brees over the last couple games has been the in-game decision-making. We saw what happened in Tampa Bay. We obviously saw the Cleveland game. We saw a few passes in Dallas. But obviously, better decisions would lead to better results. And in the Tampa Bay game, let's be honest, quite frankly, he allowed Tampa Bay back into that game. So I don't think it's the arm strength, as a lot of people have kind of questioned and asked me about. I do think it's more of decision-making within the game. On the other side of the ball, what I see, I think it all starts with the defensive line. Not getting the same amount of pressure they once had. The group had 40-plus sacks last year, only have 6 so far, on pace for something like 19 right now. So if they can get the defensive line back and up and running and doing what they've been doing over the past, well, I should say just last year into this year, maybe this defense can be the team we saw last year, because I think that's really where it all starts with this defense. But there has been some things to like about this team, and that's really kind of where I stand as far as, well, how's the season going to go? Well, there are some things to build on. One, I think the offensive line, particularly in the run blocking, has been outstanding, and we've seen the way the Saints have been able to run the ball effectively. Maybe they can evolve into a team that's a little more ball control, a little more time of possession, maybe a few less big plays that can maybe be some risky throws, and maybe they can bounce back with a 2-3 start. Now, obviously, the best news is they're still in second place in the NFC South. They're 2-3, obviously have the bye week. So the NFC South, you could maybe see a team go 9-7, 10-6, still win that division. I know the tie's crazy now with Cincinnati and Carolina playing to the tie yesterday, and it might throw some things off in the NFC South. But I still think there's a lot to play for. The Saints can get this thing together. Football, as we know, is not a sprint, it's a marathon, and hopefully by the end of this thing, they'll be back in the postseason and being the Saints team that we know they can be. But I agree with those that say it's been a rough start, because it has. 2-3 was not what any one of us expected, and hopefully they can get that turned around. So with that, I guess I'll open it up to any questions.
Raise your hand for questions. Let them off there.
There we go.
Have they done anything to really change anything up about their schedule on the road? I mean, obviously they're having some bad time of getting a win on the road. So wouldn't that, I mean, you keep trying to do the same thing over and over?
Yeah. That question was brought up to Coach Payton a couple of weeks back. He said right now he's keeping the same road schedule. I do think this is an important game coming up, because they don't, since 2008, they have not lost a game following a bye week. So maybe if they can come out and get a nice win on the road this week, maybe they'll kind of rejuvenate this team. But should they lose another game on the road, yeah, you might see Coach Payton change things up. I know last year he joked green Gatorade, Popeyes, and different sweats. So maybe they'll try something different in 2014. We'll see. But I agree with you. The road issues are clearly an issue for them.
Anyone else?
So, what about Michael Lombardi was the coach of Saints for a long time. He's now the coordinator at Lions. Does that play a role in this week's game?
Do you the Detroit Lions at times look like the Saints? I mean, you can tell he came from the Sean Payton style of offense. They have a lot of playmakers. They spread the ball around. They obviously have Matt Stafford, Reggie Bush, Calvin Johnson. We'll see if they play next week. But yeah, you can certainly see the similarities. One of my favorites when he was here with the Saints was Jed Collins. He's their fullback right now. So you can certainly see the similarities. And hopefully the Saints can maybe use that to their advantage, or maybe they view it as a disadvantage. We'll see Sunday.
What's the stats in Freya?
Great question, and I have a feeling we're going to ask that question on Wednesday. We're going to get a no comment from Coach Payton. It's just the way it goes. But they say 2 to 3 weeks. I would think that's probably right in line. Hurt his shoulder. He's obviously a key part of their offense, so we'll see. But right now, the reports say 2 to 3 weeks. I'm doing my best to get the information, but they're pretty tight-lipped over there. Anybody else? All right, thank you.
Sean.